Think we're here. I think we're ready. Look how fucking cute I look. Okay, well, if you guys aren't watching this on YouTube, then you won't be able to see it. But I mean, okay. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Ironically Serious. It's your host, Taylor Hedden, and I am feeling good to be back with a solo episode. Oh, is this backwards? Is this backwards? Hello? I think I'm doing it backwards. Okay. I have not podcasted in a few weeks, actually. I took a week. Has it been a week? It's been 2 weeks, actually. It's been 2 weeks off of the podcast. I took 10 days off of work. It is March and it's spring break, and I fully enjoyed 10 days off with my kids, off of work, off of client calls, which was fucking amazing. In my business, I take a lot of calls. I take a lot of sales calls. I take a lot of meetings, a lot of Zoom calls. I feel like I'm always on the phone. Not as much as some people, but sometimes I'm looking at 4 to 6 calls a day. And when it comes to anything related to software stuff with Dubsado, I have 2 hour trainings, 90-minute strategy calls. It gets pretty intense. I have a call later today that's a 2 hour training for Dubsado, and those are always very intense for me because I pretty much talk the entire time because I'm training someone. So 10 days off of calls was absolutely amazing, and I got to spend some really great quality time with the family. We decided to take a little weekend vacation to Margaritaville in Lake Conroe. If you're familiar with the Houston area or the North Houston area, Margaritaville is a resort, and I would give it like a 6 out of 10. We had a great time with the kids. There was water park, slides, pools, swim up bars. That's my personal favorite. I never drink frozen margaritas unless I'm at Torchy's Tacos or at a swim up bar. And so you believe I was drinking frozen margaritas and Miller time, baby. Anyways, they had a bunch of different activities on the property, and it wasn't bad. I don't think I would spend as much as I did again because it was spring break. So they hiked them motherfucking prices up very high. But we booked it last minute. We decided, you know what, we're only going to get so many spring breaks, and we only get so many days of the year where we're all four off, me, my husband, and my kids, where we don't have sports or school or work or travel or things going on. And so we got to do a little 3-day getaway, Friday through Sunday, and most of that time was spent at the pool, drinking and eating snacks and watching movies together and just hanging out. And it was so great. I'm at this point in my business and my life where, yes, I enjoy my time alone. Don't get me wrong. I am, if you know me, you know I love to be out in them streets. I love to be out and about. I love to go out. I love to do things. I love to grab cocktails. I love to travel. I love to shop. I love to be out and about. Truly, yes, I'm becoming more of a homebody the older I get. And I think a lot of that has to do with creating your space and having a home that you really enjoy and a place that you make your own and you want to be there. But to my core, I'm an extrovert. I've always been an extrovert. I've always loved being out and about. And this season of life, I still love those things and I really need them for me, especially when I'm starting to feel like I'm stuck at home and I'm with the kids and it's day in, day out. It's kind of the same thing over and like a loop almost. And so getting out of the house and even just going and grabbing lunch somewhere at a cool spot with a good vibe, it kind of recharges that extrovert in me. In that same breath, I realize I don't have much time with my kids. I really don't. I have a 10-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old son. Both of them have summer birthdays. So they're both, almost 11 and 6, which is so crazy to think about that I have a preteen and a 6-year-old. And I'm in the season of life where, I mean, especially with my daughter, she's only going to be here for, 7 more years. I mean, of course, if she stays longer and wants to live with us, but if she goes to college or if she wants to travel or she wants to move out or she wants to live her life, we only have 7 more spring breaks left, 7 more summers, 7 more holiday seasons together with them under our roof. And it's a scary thought as a mom. And I know every mom listening can relate to this because it feels like in those first 5 years, it is so exhausting. First 5 years of their life. so exhausting, time consuming. You feel like you don't really know, at least if you're a new mom, your identity. You're trying to figure out your own motherhood while learning your children and who they are. And then you bring in your marriage in the mix, and you're then trying to learn your partner and what is your family unit and what are our routines and what is my child need and how do I parent them. And you're the first 5 years, it feels like it's just this crazy discovery mode. And then all of a sudden it blinks and they're preteen and then they're a teenager, and I'm freaking out about it. I'm freaking out about it because I love my kids so much, and I also love my own identity, and I have my own goals and my own passions outside of being a mom, which I think is so fascinating because I know some women feel like their whole identity is being a mom, and that's great. If that's you, I totally get it. I feel like I have these two women in me. The one who wants to be the mom and do the PTA and do the Valentine's Day cards and read the books and go on the walks, and I want to have more babies and I want to be at home and I want to spend all my time with them, and I really, really, really enjoy it, and I never wanted to be a mom, so it's shocking. And then you have the other side of me, the side that a lot of you know from online, and she is the workaholic and she's the go-getter and she's the extrovert and she wants to go here and she wants to go there and she can be out and about for 6 hours and not be tired. And she is, she has big dreams and she has this whole identity that has nothing to do with her kids, but everything to do with her kids at the same time. It is such a mind fuck being a mom. And that is not even, I did not even start this episode. Going into this episode, I wasn't even going to talk about motherhood whatsoever, but it is, I'm in this weird season, and you know what I'm going to blame it on right here, right now in this solo episode. I can't even believe I'm going to say this. Well, you guys already know this, but it just makes it more real. I will be 30 in 6.5 months. 6.5 months left of my fucking 20s. And part of me is so excited. 30, flirty, thriving, sexy, confident, a woman, like a real, real woman. And the other side of me is like, no, my youth. It's waning through my fingertips. And especially when I see like beautiful, young, 20-year-old women, girls, I should say, who they just have this innocence, but also this naiveness. Is that naiveness a word? Naivety? Naivety? Nativity scene? They have this sweet naive to them. They are so beautiful and so young and so unweathered. I don't even know if that's a word, but they just don't have like grit to them. Most women in their 20s, in their early teens, even most women in their whole 20s do not go through some of the life experiences I've been through in my teens and 20s, from losing a brother to being in an extremely religious community, having a super, super strained relationship with my dad, getting married as a teenager, getting divorced at 21, then getting excommunicated from that community, getting knocked up at 23, moving in with a man I've known for only a couple of months, having a stepchild, being a stepmom, co-parenting with another woman, starting a business. I mean, I feel like some of the things I have done in my 20s are things women do in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. And somehow I've managed to jam pack it in this decade that has completely rocked my world in every single good way and bad way. I was just literally thinking about this because on our way to Margaritaville, where we took our vacation this weekend for spring break, we passed the venue that I got married at when I turned 18. And it was so weird because we're driving through and the kids were in the back seat. Josh had to meet us at Margaritaville. We were driving and it was just the three of us in the car, and I'm just minding my business and I see in big letters, Hodgepodge Lodge. First of all, what the fuck is that? Hodgepodge Lodge. It's the venue I got married at. Granted, it is a gorgeous historic home in Montgomery, Texas. It's lovely. It would actually be like the perfect place to have like a gala or a tea party or like a baby shower. But no, my ex-husband and I decided to get married at an antique home in the middle of the summer in Texas heat, August, outside. It was horrid. Now, looking back, I put everyone in my family through misery. But I got married 10 years ago this year. 2025 will be the 10-year anniversary, if you will, of when I got married. And I'm not bringing that up to be like, I was married. Oh, let's remember all of these moments. No, I got married as a fucking teenager. And it's wild to think about. And I don't advise it to anyone. I'm not sure if anyone whatsoever who is a teenager listens to this podcast. I would not be surprised if there are none. I think most of the people who listen to this podcast are in their 20s, 30s, or 40s. So, anywho's, if you are a teenager or a mom with a teenager, do not let her get married. I am telling you right now, if she is still living in your house and she is a teenager, don't let her get married. I don't care if she's 18. I don't care if she's 19. Really, honestly, 2021, anything before 25, just don't. Just wait. And I'm even saying that from this perspective. I mean, I met Josh almost 7 years ago, a few years after I got married the first time, and I was divorced for a year when I met him. And I'm glad we didn't get married when we met and when we had my son, because a lot of people do that. A lot of people get pregnant and they have a baby. Again, no judgment. You get pregnant, you have a baby, you get married, or you get pregnant, you get married to try to like rush it because you think marriage is going to solve things or help establish. I don't know. And I get there's religious undertones and things like that. But I'm so glad I did not get married whenever I met Josh at 23 because I wasn't ready. And at 28, 29, the difference between those years and being 18, 20, 21, it is so insane. I think any woman listening who is 30 and up, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I think about that and I say, one, I'm getting old. 10 years ago, I got married. That's weird. Secondly, the things I have went through in my 20s, the things you have probably went through in your 20s are finally starting to write the story. And what I mean by that is in your early 20s, when you're just fucking up, you're making mistakes, you're trying to figure out who you are, you're putting on different identities, you're trying different jobs and you're dating and you're going through friendships and you're hurting and you're loving and you're experiencing many of the first things in life, your first, heartbreaks, your first fuck ups, your first real failures, your first signs of adulting. You don't really start to see like the fruit of those lessons until you've had the time to let them kind of simmer and let them unfold and let them teach you. And oftentimes we think we have it all figured out in the moment. We have a huge failure like me dropping out of college, which was something I would have never, ever done. I was a straight A, top 3% of my class student for my entire life. And I was going to college. I didn't care if I had to slave labor work to pay for college or take out however many loans, which I did do both of those things, worked many jobs at the same time, 2 jobs at the same time. I guess it's not many. Some people work more. But as a 17-year-old, working 2 jobs, taking online school while I was taking college classes and paying for a lot of my own bills so I could go to college, taking out loans, applying for grants. I was going to get a scholarship, period. And I didn't. I dropped out of school. I failed art school. I stopped going to class. I started drinking and partying. And all of a sudden, I woke up and said, what the fuck? I truly fucked it up. And it wasn't until now that I was able to see the whole picture of exactly what was happening and how that failure and how that pivotal moment changed everything for me, because that led to me partying, which led me to become a bartender, which led me to start working at the strip club, which led me to meeting Josh, which led me to getting pregnant a month into knowing him, which led me to be a 23-year-old mom, which led me to moving in with him and working a fucking shitty job in an office that I hated because I had to get out of the bartending scene, which led me to realize I was meant for so much more and I did not belong there. And so what did I do? I started a business. I took a chance. I took a risk. I did something that many people at the time thought was fucking crazy. A new mom living in an apartment with a baby and you're going to quit your job, which is giving you stability and a paycheck, to start a what? A virtual assistant business? Mind you, this was 2019. This was before what we have now. Before COVID, I hate bringing up COVID because it's so annoying, but it changed online remote work. It changed freelancing. It created a culture of having multiple jobs, of freelancing, of online work, of digital opportunity that we just did not have 7 years ago. The landscape was a lot different. And while it was still there, it wasn't as widely known or accepted. And my family was like, what are you talking about? What is a virtual assistant? How are you going to make money? Are you even like going to be able to pay your bills? And not to shout out or call out my husband, but at the time, I remember sitting down and he always believed in me. I'll preface this with that. He's always believed in me and he's always seen, even at my lowest, when he met me, he saw something in me that was different and something that was just a drive in me. Even while I was working at the club, I had a sense of morality. I had a sense, and again, no shame. I just carried myself differently. I had better expectations for myself. There was something there and it was there. It was just buried under a lot of pain and a lot of trauma and a lot of alcohol. And I remember telling him about this virtual assistant business because, again, not to beat a dead horse, but for the cliff notes, for those of you who are tuning into this podcast for the first time, I got a side gig on Facebook working with a photographer, helping her with random stuff, admin work, client emails, whatever she needed help with. She was paying me like maybe $20 an hour, maybe less, $18 an hour or something like that. And I was doing that while I was working a job at an agency with 9 men. And I was the only woman and I was pregnant. I had that client and a few others, and I was making a little bit of income from this side gig. And when I told Josh that I wanted to go full time, he told me, I don't know if I've ever said this before, he told me, that's a great 5-year plan, babe. And I remember looking at him and I was like, excuse me, 5-year plan? Hmm? What do you mean by that? Because in my mind, it was a 5-month plan. I was about, let's see, I was pregnant. I got pregnant November of 2018, December, January, February, March, April, March. Yeah. So I was 4 months pregnant because I got this first client like March-ish, April of 2019. And at the time, fast forward to the summer, it's now June, July. We just moved into our apartment together. We're getting ready to welcome my son in August. I'm so pregnant. So I had only been doing this side hustle for a few months when I saw the vision. I saw the opportunity. I am making almost the same amount of money at my real job, but I'm working from home with our son, and I'm not in this environment that is toxic and terrible, and I hate it, and I'm unfulfilled and I'm unhappy. And the looming thought was, is he going to go to daycare? Can we even afford daycare? It's fucking expensive. And I thought, I'll make a business. And my husband thought, who was my boyfriend at the time, good 5-year plan. Well, look where we are now. We just hit 6 years in April. And shit was unexpected, baby. It was unexpected. I had no idea that mess up, dropping out of college, getting divorced, completely alienating myself and changing my life for bad and for good at the same time. It was just, like I said earlier, a mind fuck. It's insane to think about. It's insane to think about what I was going through at the time. And here we are, a successful business that I am so proud of, that I love. Not only that, but I've made so many life changes. And so much of that has come from having something that I want to happen so badly that you are willing to make other changes in your life to make that happen. And also, it unlocks this drive in you when you have something that you're like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is the thing. It unlocks something in you that I can't even describe, but you can only actually tap into it when you are really doing that thing that you are meant to do. Speaking of, I have exciting news, and I want to kind of just share a little bit on it. For those of you who know, actually, I'm going to pause. I need to actually take a drink because I am so thirsty. And if you're watching this on video, first of all, tell me this Coke can doesn't match me perfectly. I have my black and orange Tecovas hat, and I have this, I don't know, it's like a bust, a statue bust next to me that I found at Home Goods. Oh, 1999. It is so cute. It's red. It's my favorite color and it's suede and it just looks so cute in here. Anyways, I am drinking a Coke Zero. We're just going to go ahead and open this and take a sip. And then I have something to tell you. Wow. It's the new orange cream Coca-Cola Zero. Why did I say it like that? It's the new orange cream Coca-Cola Zero sugar. Zero sugar. Orange cream Coca-Cola Zero sugar. I just found it yesterday because while the March Madness and all the basketball stuff going on, it is so good. It is literally so good. Sidebar. For those of you who have listened to this podcast, you will know that I have been absolutely obsessed with Alani, the energy drinks, Alani Nu, for the past couple of years. Like I have probably spent thousands of dollars to that company between the energy drinks and the whatchamacallit, the bars. I used to also buy their super greens, but the energy drink was my vice. And I would say I'm embarrassed to say this. I am so embarrassed to say this. I have probably drank one every day for the last year and a half. I'm not even lying. Even when I go on vacations, I will buy them wherever I'm visiting. And if they don't have them, then I'll drink like a Celsius or something. But I have drank so many Alanis. I'm embarrassed to say it because they're $3 a can. So literally $3 a day on just energy caffeine. But I had this really weird thing happen. I'm so curious to hear if any of you have dealt with this or heard of someone that's dealt with this. About December of last year, a couple months ago, I developed this rash on my face, on my neck, on my arms, on my back. And it first just started as like a little patch. And I thought maybe it started on my face first, a little patch on my face, like right by my nose, in between my nose and my corner of my eye. And I thought I got it from wearing glasses because normally I wear glasses. I say normally, I wear contacts, but I can't see for shit. So at home, at night, or in the morning, I always wear glasses. And I thought maybe my glasses had rubbed or I was reacting to something, in my like lotion on my face, my moisturizer or makeup or something. It ended up getting worse and it was super dry, flaky, itchy. And then I started getting like little spots on other places of my body. I had this patch on my neck. I had this little spot on my arm. I had one on my back. I had one like under my ribs almost. So I went to my dermatologist, the one who helped me clear up my acne for the wedding. And she diagnosed me with eczema, which is super weird because I've never had any skin issues, but she said it was eczema. And I just could not get rid of it. She prescribed me a face steroid, like a cream. I already use very, very clean skincare because I am acne prone and I have very sensitive skin. So I use a very gentle face wash. I use minimal skincare. I don't do like the masks and the oils and all of that. I have like an eye cream and I have a very moisturizing moisturizer, and that's it. I don't do anything else because I was breaking out so bad. I have very acne prone skin. But it's always been kind of medium, like not dry, not oily, and all of a sudden dry, 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 so bad, painful, itchy. Nothing was really working. So I just was doing some research. I don't even know why. I'm a big Reddit person. I don't know about you guys, but I went onto Reddit and I started Redditing. Is that the word? Is that the term? Redditing. I started Redditing Alani Nu. And just to see, I was thinking through the things that I eat or drink on a daily basis that I've never done like my whole life. Like I've never drank Lonnie's my whole life. So I was like, okay, it can't be milk or something like that unless I developed some kind of new allergy or something. And I said, okay, well, I drink Alani's every day and they're not natural per se. So maybe let me look into it. Did a little Reddit search and girl, throw it away right now. Dump out those cans. If you are listening, pause this, pause what you're doing, and go dump out those Alani cans because let me tell you why. Thread upon thread upon thread upon forum upon post upon lawsuit and lawsuits against Alani Nutrition for all kinds of fucking wild things. Liver diseases, liver failure, skin conditions, multiple skin conditions, very bad acne, psoriasis, eczema. And all of these forums are of people who, when they cut it, guess what? The thing they were dealing with went away. And those were the two specific ones: skin issues and elevated liver enzymes, which is an indicator of liver failure. And it can happen for a few reasons. But as I was doing research, I then started seeing all these lawsuits against Alani. And I was like, whoa, this is insane. Apparently, and granted, if you're drinking one a month or something like that, I get it. Everything in balance, right? Not me. I was drinking one a day, like a whole can. Maybe not a whole can, maybe like 2/3 of a can. Apparently, there's over 100% of your daily value of this particular biotin and this certain B vitamin. And there's all this other shit in there because that's how they get the super sweet flavor with 0 calories. It's a bunch of fake shit. And I get that. I've been drinking it. I knew that it was fake. However, all of these signs are pointing to this ingredient that's causing these issues. And so I'm about 4 weeks in to quitting Alani, and my face has cleared up. Swear to God, all of my little patches, they're going away. I haven't had a breakout, like a patch breakout, because I would drink an Alani and notice, because I would usually drink them at about this time, about like 11, noon, my midday pick me up. And I would start to get itchy around my neck. I would get inflamed. It would get red and scaly. Not there. Not fucking there. Am I struggling? Absolutely. Because you bet your bottom dollar that 200 milligrams of caffeine at about 11 o'clock drove me through the day, baby. But it's fine. I just picked these Coke Zeros up. I'm trying to figure out, and I get it. This is not better. It still has what? Aspartame or whatever the fuck it is. I get it. It's not healthy, but it's probably better than the 200 milligram lawsuit can of energy that I was drinking and spending $3 on every single day. End of story. So with that being said, Alani will not be a sponsor of this podcast. Not that they even know who I am, but I had always said, Alani, sponsor me, sponsor me. Yeah, no more. We don't need eczema sponsors, okay? Okay, so to share a few more things in this episode, hold on, I wrote something down. Where did it go? Oh my God, excuse me. That was so disgusting. So a little something business related. I have an announcement. I'm so excited to share it. I can finally talk about it. It's been in the works since December. But one of the goals I have had in the online space, in my business space, in the digital realm, has to become an educator. And I absolutely love teaching. I have a passion for leading and helping people come to solutions. I have always really, really enjoyed being the leader of a group or being a person where others can come to and help solve a problem at its most basic kind of core, right? I've always thought about, what is the passion underlying of this? Like, yes, someone can say, oh, I'm passionate about leadership, but why? And I realized I get deep fulfillment from helping other people come to a solution and find, whether it's joy, happiness, excitement, confidence, or just the answer to something they were struggling with. It really, really brings me joy and personal human fulfillment in my role here on earth. And growing up, it was shown in so many different ways, whether it was, being the best leader on my cheerleading team, voted best leader, being the friend that people could talk to and share their problems with and ask advice, being the small group leader or the camp leader at church, being someone who can teach others in different environments, whether it was photography or in school or with work stuff. I love it. I absolutely love helping someone get where they want to go. And it doesn't have to be the same vehicle. And that's where I think a lot of people get stuck on. Sidebar. I feel like a lot of leaders or people who could be great leaders, they get stuck on the what am I leading instead of how am I leading and who am I leading. And we think that it has to be displayed in this specific realm or this specific industry or this certain thing, but it doesn't. I mean, for a while, I thought I wanted to be a therapist, which would have been cool, but it doesn't matter how it's happening. It just matters that it's happening in some capacity. And I am getting to have those experiences and conversations with the ideal type of person who's going to be able to receive what they need from me because of who I am, because of the experiences I've been through, because of the way I can connect, because of how I can find commonalities with someone. And my business, I've learned, has been one of the best vehicles to do that because I get to take a skill that I am really good at, whether it's operations or marketing or creative elements or Dubsado, and I get to help someone either by using those skills and leading them to a solution or by teaching them those skills so they can go out and do it on their own. And it has been probably the most rewarding part of my career, other than being able to stay home with my family and be able to do the things I want to do when I want to do them, which is absolutely fantastic. But truly, being able to reach people on a deeper level than just selling something, it is incredible. And because I'm 6 years into my business, I feel like I have finally earned the authority because of my time in the game, because of my skin in the game, because of the network I've built, because of the skills that I have acquired over the 6 years. Not to say you can't be a leader in year one, not to say that you don't already have that capacity and those skills within you, but it takes time. It takes time to develop your authority. It takes time to build the platform. It takes time to earn the trust, to be honest, not just from people who know you, but from people who don't know you. When you start to build a reputation in your industry, and this is not just for business owners, this could be for anyone. If you're a real estate agent, if you're a teacher, if you're in the corporate space, if you're in healthcare, you are building your reputation day by day by day. And you just really never know who is talking about you. You never know where your name is being spoken. You never know who is mentioning you when there's an opportunity. And the longer you're in the game, the more that comes up. And the more aligned you are in who you are becoming, the more those things start to happen. The more people speak your name, the bigger your network becomes, the more authority you start to earn. And being in this space for 6 years where people come and go left and right, business are starting and stopping every single day. It's so interesting to meet people in the online space in the digital world, whether it's creative spaces or marketing. And then a year from now, they're completely gone, and not gone literally off the face of the earth, but they're just not in the space anymore. They're gone. It's not easy, much easier said than done. All that to say, I absolutely love educating. I love teaching. It is a passion of mine. If you have a question listening to this podcast right now, if you have a question about literally anything, it could be about how my office is styled. It could be about my podcast equipment. It could be about business, motherhood, anything. I will always give because I believe someone is where I have been right now in this moment, and I can pass it on because someone has passed on to me. And someone will pass on to me in the future. And it's almost my duty to give back what I've received, what I've learned, what I've earned. So one of my biggest goals in my business, I'm getting excited saying this. One of the biggest goals I've had in my business in the last 6 years is I have wanted to speak on a stage. And not just a stage in general, but I have wanted to be in a room with people and really, really create an aha, impact, light bulb moment that they're going to walk away from and feel so much excitement, so much inspiration that they're going to go and take action, and they're going to remember that moment. And it's going to be life-changing for their story. Again, selfishly, it's fulfilling. But also, I've been there. I've had moments where my whole life has been like, oh my gosh. There have been moments I can look back and say, that moment changed everything for me. What that person said completely changed the trajectory that I was on. I've had many opportunities to speak on stages, quote unquote stages. I've had so many fantastic opportunities online where I have spoken webinars and virtual masterclasses and masterminds and groups and communities. I have done many of those, dozens and dozens of those in the last 6 years, which are incredible. But there's nothing like human personal connection. Like I said earlier, I'm an extrovert. There's nothing like being in the same room as someone and connecting and sharing stories and making friends and walking away feeling inspired. You cannot replicate it through a screen, period. You can't replicate it through a podcast, through a digital mastermind, through a video. There's nothing like being in the room with someone and being inspired, or seeing someone being inspired, or seeing change happen and play out in real time. I did have one incredible moment a few years ago. Shout out to Leslie Vega Design. She hosted this beautiful retreat in Florida. And it was shortly after the pandemic, so people were just craving in-person connection. She hosted this incredible retreat. There were about 13 of us total. About 4 of us were mentors or coaches at the retreat, and the rest of them were people who had paid to be on that retreat and who were there to learn, to grow, to hear from us, and for us to just connect. It was incredible. I got to lead breakout sessions. I got to speak in front of the group. We got to connect and just spend a whole 4 days with these amazing women in this beautiful place. It was fantastic. She ended up not continuing the retreat, but I think it was life-changing for many people. And I know it was life-changing for me because I felt so in my zone. It felt so right. Everything about it felt so right. And I knew that I was meant to be there with those people at that time. It was incredible. But I have never spoken at something larger, a summit, a conference. It has been a bucket list goal. And I wouldn't even say bucket list because it's not something I want to just check off. Like, I want to do that. I want to be a speaker. In December of last year, someone reached out to me and asked me if I was interested in speaking at this summit, but they wanted me to help capture Dubsado as a sponsor, which for those of you who know or don't know, again, Dubsado is the software that I use in my business and that I teach others how to use. I'm a certified specialist. I am third party, but I have such a wonderful relationship with Dubsado and we've collaborated on so many incredible things. This group wanted me to speak, but they wanted that to be a part of the Dubsado sponsor, and they wanted my help essentially capturing that sponsor. So, a lesson in pitching, I went to Dubsado with this pitch and I told them, hey, there's this conference and here's exactly why I think Dubsado needs to be there. Here's why I think you need to be a sponsor. Here's what you guys are going to get out of it. Here's what I'm going to get out of it. And I was able to secure the Dubsado sponsorship for the event. In the future, I'm definitely going to take a cut because I didn't even take a cut, but I didn't even care about the money. I was like, I don't even care. I don't even care if I get paid. I just want to be at this conference. I want to be there. I want to represent Dubsado. I don't care if I get paid nothing, but I want to be there. And I pitched this to Dubsado. It was such an amazing fit. We had a couple of weeks back and forth of, I guess, negotiating per se. And the cool thing was whenever we were in negotiation, Dubsado had some counter negotiations and I facilitated them back to the group hosting the event. We were able to come to this beautiful agreement where I was not only going to be at the conference, but I was going to be a breakout session leader at this conference, and Dubsado was going to be a sponsor. I would represent Dubsado for the whole week and share with everyone who Dubsado is, what they are, and really get people to hopefully join the software. The cool thing is, it started as just these breakout sessions is what they wanted me to come and do. At this conference, they have main stage, which are your speakers who are on stage, speaking directly to the crowd, kind of like a keynote, but they're, on stage AV, the whole setup. And then they have breakouts, which are a coach, a mentor is doing a workshop style session and the attendees sign up to the session they want to go to. So there's all these different options that are led by different mentors. You pick and choose which ones you want to go to. Some of them are at the same time. Whereas the main stage, of course, everyone goes to those. There's none that are at the same time. They're kind of all put together in that way for the conference. So I'm pumped. I don't care that I'm not on main stage. It was not even a thought. The thought was I am so excited to be there. I'm so excited to represent. I'm so excited to be in a room with wedding pros and share my knowledge and reach people. And you know what? I can probably convert one client from that event, and that would be worth all the time and the effort I put in to capture this opportunity. We get on a call this week, me and the group that is hosting the conference, and they ask me to do a main stage presentation and the breakout session. And when I tell you we're on a Zoom call, I'm in my office, I wanted to actually scream and squeal and run around in circles, but I kept my composure really cool. And I was like, oh, yes, that would be absolutely fantastic. I would love that. Let's talk about the topic. Inside, I was screaming because you guys, I have been dreaming about this for years, for absolutely years. And now I can see it. It's tangible. It's in 2 months. If you're interested in coming, please let me know. I'll drop in. I don't even know actually if my affiliate link is live yet, but I'll still drop in the ticket links in the description. The conference is called the Wedding Pro CEO Summit. It is for wedding pros, obviously. Any type of wedding vendor is welcome. Planners, florists, DJs, you name it. It is in Denver, Colorado, June 2nd through the 5th. And it's going to be incredible because there are multiple main stage speakers, breakout sessions, there's a dinner, it's going to be so fantastic if you are a wedding pro, just to be there in that room with some of the best of the best. But I could have cried to see that come to realization. And as soon as I was off the call, I called my husband and I was like, oh my God, you will not believe this. You're looking at a main stage speaker, baby, a main stage speaker. And now I'm freaking out because I have 2 months to figure out what we're going to talk about. We have a topic figured out, but I have, 2 months to figure out my entire speech, which is we have 30 to 40 minutes. We have 40 minutes total, but we can do a Q&A in that. So I'm going to try to hit 25 to 30 minutes speaking and then do a 10 to 15 minute Q&A. So we'll kind of see how I put it all together, but I'm thrilled. And I'm probably not even conveying the excitement in this podcast because I am seriously so excited. And I just want to encourage you, keep going, like keep showing up, keep doing what you're doing. If you have a dream, okay, I sound like Martin Luther King. If you have a dream, go after it and do not stop until you get it. It will happen. Most people give up. Most people decide, you know what, I haven't hit it yet, so maybe I should switch dreams. I should lower my expectations. I should set an easier goal. You know how I feel about that. Most people are going to give up, and the ones who don't, they're going to get what they want. And sometimes when we first set that goal, when I first said 5 years ago when I started my business, I didn't know shit. I was like, I'm going to speak on a stage someday. I'm so glad it didn't happen then because I know so much more now. I'm so much more confident and intelligent, and I just know people better and I understand people better, and I really know what I'm talking about. If I would have spoken on a stage 5 years ago, I would have embarrassed myself. I would not have been ready, but I am ready. And that thing that you're thinking of, that thing that you're dreaming of, that you want so badly, that you can taste and feel and see and dream, it is for you. If you can taste it and you can feel it and you can see it and you can dream it, you can have it. You just have to keep pushing when you don't feel like it's going to be there, when you don't feel like you're worth it, when you don't feel like anything you're doing is actually making a difference. Keep going. I promise you. The amount of days I've had in this last 2 years where I felt like I am not doing enough. But when I look back now and it's March of 2025 and a year ago I was planning my wedding, everything I was doing was building. Everything I was doing, even if it was the smallest little thing, the smallest little win, was just another win in the bucket, another piece of confidence, another thing that was inching me toward this goal to where not only was I able to negotiate and be the person to capture this sponsor for someone else's event, which is fucking incredible, they asked me. They came to me and found me worthy and saw my reputation and knew I was who I said I was and knew I was skilled and the expert in what I'm doing. And that just goes to show that your reputation is everything. And every day that you show up, you're adding more to the bucket, another brick, and your dreams are coming for you. They really, really are. And I want you to get hyped because I'm hyped. And you may be like, Taylor, this is so irrelevant to me because I have nothing in the foreseeable future. That's the crazy thing. You never know when the opportunity is going to fall into your lap. You never know when it's going to come knocking and say, hey there, here's that thing that you've been waiting for. Are you ready? Are you willing? Are you going to say yes? That is the truth. And not to put this on a sappy little broken record, but you have the ability to be anything you want to be. Anything you want to be. We're going to church today, baby. You have the ability to be absolutely anything you want to be. You just have to believe that you deserve it. You have to believe that you can earn it. And you have to believe that it's out there and it's waiting for you. It really, really is. There's opportunity waiting everywhere because every day people are giving up, or they're deciding they're not worthy enough, or they're saying no because they're scared, or they're not willing to take the risk. It's out there. You just have to be willing to stand up and go get it. So go fucking get it. I'm getting it. I really am. I've got 2 months. So I am on stage. I'm going to make sure I get my makeup done. I already know they have a fantastic media team. So I'm going to be getting all of the shots and the videos. It's going to be insane. With that being said, if you know someone who needs a speaker, baby, if you've got a conference in mind, send them my way because we are pitching. It is 2025. We are pitching. If you need to make it a priority. And actually, I have a really great episode coming out in a few weeks with Amanda Smith, who is the founder of Dallas Girl Gang, which is a community of women in Dallas, but they host a conference every year. And she gave some really fantastic tips on pitching and getting brand deals and sponsors. And I'm going to be your mom here. I'm going to be the mom right now. And I'm going to say, it's never a yes if you don't ask. It's always a no. So if you're not asking, you're not receiving. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this episode up with a little inspiration to go after it this week. Go ask for something. Ask for that opportunity. Ask for that podcast. Ask for that sponsorship. Go get that client, baby. Go get it. As always, if you loved the episode, you know where to find me, Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to your podcast. Leave a review. Share with a friend, please. This podcast is not possible without the people who listen to it and share it. So share with a friend. Throw out your Alanis. I'll see you right here next week on Ironically Serious.